Hi, I'm Christy Whitman, celebrity coach and New York Times bestselling author, and I'm so excited to tell you about my new book being released on September 25th. It's called Quantum Success in Your Career: 7 Essential Laws for a Thriving, Joyful, and Prosperous Relationship with Work and Money. I want to share with you one of the principles that I teach in the book with a special guest that I think you'll love. Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments below and enjoy.
A brand new book by New York Times bestselling author Christy Whitman. World-renowned guests speak with Christy to share their insights for you, focusing on one word based on the principles of this book. Prepare to be inspired. Quantum Success. Christy's guest is Natalie Ledwell, and today's word is Envision.
Hey everybody, it's Christy Whitman, and today I get to interview the amazing, the astounding, and one of my dearest friends, Natalie Ledwell. She is she's one of the co-founders of Mind Movies, which has helped, oh my God, millions and millions of people create their reality by creating the internal vision of what they want first so that they can manifest it on the outside. And she's a luminary. She's just a total light being. She's a best-selling author. She's one of the most amazing human beings I know, and I'm glad that you're my friend. So, Natalie.
Hi. God, I sound amazing when you say it like that, right?
You are. Well, that's how I see you. And, you know, I've spent some good time with you. And I love the fact that you're one of those real people that, you know, you admit you have your stuff come up, but you always do what you need to do to work it. And you're just one of those inspirational teachers that teaches from a place of being real and authentic. And, you know, that's one of the reasons that you're one of my dearest friends, of course, but I also have so much respect for you as a teacher. So I'm thrilled to have you on the summit.
Hey, now I know. Well, you know, I think both you and I agree that, you know, the days of the gurus are sort of fading out. And now, you know, the transformational leader is really, you know, this new group of teachers and messengers coming through, because, you know, we don't try and make out that we've got it all together. We don't make out that, you know, we've got the answers to everything. We may be a couple of steps ahead of everybody else, but, you know, we recognize there's always another layer. There's always something else. And if we're continuously stretching ourselves and stepping outside our comfort zone and trying to be better versions of ourselves, then always there's going to be something that's going to come up. So, you know, we just strap in and enjoy the ride.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I love now is that, you know, because the dedication that you've put into yourself and growth and all that, and the same thing with me, is that it's like, it's something when I think of work, it's internal work first, then the outer work comes. And because I think that commitment, you know, we both talk about how incredible and amazing like our lives are. And, you know, you and I have had some moments where we've spent time in like the new moon in, you know, Maui at the Four Seasons, and, you know, being in Barbados together on a catamaran, and, you know, being in Turks and Caicos at this fantastic spa. I mean, you know, the list goes on and on. Being at the Grammys together, and we have so much fun together. But we both manifest from a place of we see something we want, we know we can have it, and we manifest it. And our lives move quick because the consciousness moves quick, because we've released a lot of the resistance that blocks it.
Yeah.
And that's why
we've gathered enough information along the way to realize that, you know, how effective our manifestation process is.
Yeah, absolutely. Love it. I feel like I want a champagne glass with you too. Yeah. Here's our lives. Yeah. So, I mean, it just always comes back to a place of gratitude and appreciation. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today is, you know, obviously you have one of the necessary properties that we do as a manifester, and that is Envision. And you know, you built your whole business with Glenn on, you know, Mind Movies and helping people that have a problem kind of, and not even just people have a problem, but those, I hear people all the time will say, I'm not visual. You know, it's hard for me to visualize something. And I think just even for that small group of people, like Mind Movies is just so brilliant to help them envision. And then you have all the other people that they can visualize things, but it just helps to actually see an actual movie. It's like you talk about, I mean, I can hear a song and I'll remember exactly where I was. Sometimes I could tell what I was wearing, who I was with, you know, sometimes what I was drinking, you know, like at a Cheap Chick concert, trying bourbon for the first time, you know, like that kind of stuff. And that's what Mind Movies really helps to do, is help people, you know, create that internal relationship with whatever they want so that they can project it and call it into manifestation, into reality.
Yeah. I mean, the reason that Mind Movies exist in the first place is because, you know, Glenn and I had challenges visualizing. When we watched the movie The Secret, I think one of the big takeaways that Glenn had was that when you visualize, it's not just about what you see, it's about what you feel. You have to feel like you're already there. And when it comes to creating a mind movie, the first part of it, which is actually the creation process, the getting clear about what you want, that in itself is super powerful. You know, I have been in workshops with thousands and thousands of people, helping them make their own mind movie, you know, helping them get clear about what it is that they want. And then watching them for the first time, looking and watching their mind movie and being brought to tears. It's like, wow, this is my life. So, you know, when I'm working with people, I'm like, okay, if we want to get really clear and comprehensive about this life that we want to create, I mean, obviously we want to write things, you know, like a mind movie is affirmations. What the hell was that? Oh, excuse me. No, that wasn't me. I have no idea what that was. There's lots of construction happening around here at the moment. So what was I saying? Okay, so we're going to get really clear about what we want. Okay, so my movie is like affirmations, that's describing this future. Then we have photos that are enhancing those affirmations. And then we have the music, which is the secret sauce. So the reason we use affirmations is we need to write at this future as if it's happening now. This is because my movie in its essence is a visualization tool to make it easier for you to put yourself there. So it has to be written as if it's happening now, which is why we do that. We want to make sure that we avoid all the words that we don't want to conjure up pictures of, like debt or loneliness or, you know, pain or whatever that is. Let's eliminate those words. Only use the words that we're looking for, like abundance and optimal health and love and support and all that kind of thing. But there are 5 different types of affirmations that I recommend people use to comprehensively describe this future. So the first thing is what I call your what affirmation. So what is it that you want? You know, a loving, supporting relationship, optimal health and a boundless energy, you know, abundant wealth, you know. So write down what it is that you want first. And then the next type of affirmation is describing what life looks like now that you have it. Because this is where the visualization gets really cool. This is what we're visualizing. What life is like while we're already there. Now, we've already got the wealth. What does that mean to you? You know, when you're visualizing, remember, you want to use emotion. So you're not really visualizing a pile of cash, because that's not invoking any emotion. Unless perhaps if you were naked rolling around in it, then right. You're not really visualizing the cash itself, but what it means to you and how it's going to change your life and how it changes the life of the people that you love. So, you know, what life is like now. Then you want to write down why. You know, and I always say write down a why for the people that you serve, write down a why for the people that you love, and then write a why for yourself.
Beautiful.
So this is, the why is what keeps you moving forward when, you know, you come across a challenge or an obstacle. Then you've got your actions. So you don't need to know the whole plan. You don't have to have everything mapped out. Actually, please don't have everything mapped out because you don't want to be married to how it's going to happen, and you don't want to be married to how it's going to show up. But we can talk about that in a moment. But you do need to, maybe there's some changes that you need to make to your daily practice. You know, maybe there's some habits that you want to incorporate into your day so that you can become the wealthy person or become the loving person or the healthy person, so that you're in that vibrating, you know, that vibrational match to that. So make sure you add those in there as well. And then the last one is what I call your thought affirmations. So how do you need to change the way you think to become this person? You know, if you have a program running in your mind that all rich people are bad and, you know, that you're never going to be wealthy or you'll never find love and you're not worthy, then we need to overcome those thoughts. Now, visualizing on a regular basis does help to do that. And I've been doing a lot of work with a guy called Dr. Joe Dispenza, and we've been brain mapping people as they're watching their mind movies and visualizing. And what we've discovered is that if you are in, let's say that you're in like a meditation, and you've got your brain waves down to like a theta brainwave, state, and then you have a visualization that is so real to you that your subconscious mind actually thinks it's your reality. What you're doing is creating these new neural networks in your brain. And what this does is helps to create thoughts, which in turn affects your actions and your behaviors and your emotions that are in alignment with this future. Okay, so you're creating, and to really visualize effectively, and like the most powerful way to do it for me is, rather than seeing a movie like where you're one of the characters, be in it. Like, use every sense that you have to be able to create this future. And one of the examples I like to use is the children's program that I'm working on. I was approached by a university in Colombia because they heard that we had our Mind Movies for Kids program. And he said, look, could you also create a curriculum to go, to be taught in the classroom to go with the program? And I'm like, sure, I can do that. I'm thinking, oh my God, I left school when I was 15. I don't have kids, but yes, what do you need, right? So, of course, after I stopped freaking out and going through the usual, which always comes up for us, I'm not worthy, I'm not qualified, who am I to think that I can do this? And I'm like, okay, now I have my little freak out, had a little meltdown, that's fine. What comes next? And then I sit down into my visualization, and I see myself walking into the classroom. And I can hear the squeaking of the door as I'm walking in. I can feel the handle in my hand. And the kids are running up and they're screaming. They're like laughing. They've got these smiles on their face and they're tugging on my clothes. And they're all like, going, miss. And then I'm talking to the teacher, and the teacher's crying and I can feel this sense of pride, because she's like, this has changed their lives. So I'm using all of my senses, sight, touch, sound, everything. I am in that scene. So when I come out of it, my next thing is like, okay, well, what's my first step? What do I do now? So I don't need to know the whole plan. I just need to know what the next step is. So I'm like, okay, do I have a friend who's a teacher? So I reach out to someone, and she's like, yes. I said, is there a way that these lessons are normally laid out so I look like I know what I'm doing? She said, yes. So she sent that to me. And then I figured out what I wanted to have taught. So then I ring my copywriter, because I had a 2.5-week deadline to get it done. I said, can you help me, write this out, and then I can tweak your words. It'll be a faster process. And he said, yeah. He said, but I have a secret weapon. He said, my wife is a teacher that specializes in early age curriculum. I'm like, of course she is, because that's exactly what I need right now, And so every step of the way with this program, what the next step that I've needed has shown up. And now, because I'm so in flow with it, and I'm so, like, I've already, created this event, that people are showing up before I realize I even need them. And this is how when you get into the flow of this, the manifestation process, this is how it works. And what we're doing is, and this is what, Dr. Joe Dispenza has come up with, is like, when we create this scene that's so real in our mind, like you think about a memory of a past event. So we have this memory of this past event, and, like you said, you can remember sipping bourbon at a Cheap Trick concert or whatever. It's, it's so real to you. But what we're doing is we're creating a memory of our future. Because it is so realistic to our subconscious mind. And then with the song, the song that you put to your Mind Movie, it has to be something that truly blows your hair back. It has to be something that really makes your heart sing. Because even without watching the Mind Movie, when you hear the song, your brain starts to instantly populate that song with the visuals and the emotions of that particular Mind Movie, or that future that you're creating. Now, back in 2006, I made my original Mind Movie, and I used the song Clocks by Coldplay, which was my favorite song at the time. Now it's like my favorite song of eternity. But I was in an Uber car the other day, and I could see that the guy had it queued up to play next on his CD player. And I said, do you mind playing that song? It's my favorite song. He goes, sure. So I'm sitting in the back of the car. I've got tears rolling down my face. I'm crying because I'm instantly taken into the feelings of accomplishment and empowerment and gratitude. And because that was the beginning, that Mind Movie was the beginning of this amazingly incredible life that I get to live, that I could never have, in my wildest dreams had dreamt up for myself. And it all started from that Mind Movie and that song. So that's how powerful the music part of it can be.
Love it. So for someone starting out, right? They're just either trying to get a job, or maybe they're starting a business, or they're wanting to get a promotion, that whatever career success looks for them.
Right.
What would you advise someone when they start to envision, when they start to, like you said, get clear, but like how often would they do a mind movie? How often would they visualize? I mean, what would be your prescription if you were a doctor? Say, okay, here's how to start.
Right. Well, I would say minimum twice a day. So with a mind movie, watching it first thing in the morning as you wake up, because, as we go to sleep and as we're waking up, we're in theta brainwave activity. Now, theta means that basically we're in suggestible mind. So whatever we're watching is getting absorbed into our subconscious mind at a much faster rate. But at those times, we're also very connected to the higher consciousness when we're in that brainwave state. So when you're watching it first thing in the morning as you're waking up, it's like it's the foundation for the day. And as you go to sleep, whatever we're watching the last 10 minutes before we go to sleep, our subconscious mind is mulling through all evening. So we can wake up in the morning, and then some of the solutions for the next step or the challenges that we're facing will then, come to us as ideas, and like, ooh, okay, because we've already sorted it out in our mind. But the way that I use mind movies, so I do a mind movie at the beginning of every year, which is like my year one. So it covers all of my projects, all the things I want to accomplish. Then I'll do specific mind movies for different projects. Like I have a health and fitness mind movie. I have a relationship mind movie. I have one for the children's program, for the book, the TV show. So I have all these different mind movies. So, in the mornings, I always play my health and fitness one, because half the time I need it to get my butt out of bed. So, and I always make sure I have like an up tempo, like a fast, motivating song to it. My relationship mind movie I watch before, so I have a little process where, because I'm online dating, so I have candles, I have a glass of wine, I watch my mind movie, and then I go man shopping. So then we'll go online and oh, yeah. But then if I'm like, for example, if I'm sitting down to write the book, or if I'm working on the children's program that day, I'll watch that mind movie before I start working on that project. Because by doing that and me visualizing and putting myself in that scene, I'm becoming a vibrational match to the result that I want. So that as I start to work on that project, I find that the work is easier, ideas come to me faster, and everything seems to be more in flow, because I'm already vibrationally matched to that result.
Beautiful. Oh, so much. You said so much. I want to pick apart. There was a time when I was leaving my ex-husband. I got a job promotion, so I needed to sell my house in California with him. So I wrote out, and I didn't do a mind movie, but what I did is I wrote it out like a script, as if the house had already sold. I have the perfect buyer that paid this amount, this many days escrow, like the whole thing, how easy it was to find someone. And then the second one was to create my ideal partner, and had all the characteristics, qualities, all the things I love to do with them, all that stuff. And then the third was my ideal career, because I was still working as a pharmaceutical sales training manager, and I wanted to go full-time as a coach. So every single morning when I would wake up, and every single night before I would go to sleep, I would read all three of those. And I would read it as if I'm already in it. I already have it. It's already sold. The money's in the bank, that kind of thing. And that I'm with this partner going to a new restaurant or traveling, or, it was like I really put myself in, like you're saying, that feeling sense. It wasn't just in here. It was a visceral, all the cells in my body, my feeling sense was in it. And I always did it strategically, right when I woke up in the morning and right before I went to bed.
Yeah.
And I was amazed, because within less than a 3-month period, sold the house, met the guy, started my own business.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. And I look at those three things, I still have them. And I'm like, everything on there came to fruition. But it was, I find, and this is something that I wanted to talk to you about, is it's that dedication and consistency to be able to do that, because, someone can just do it once and then it's, it's not going to work for you, because you're not changing your vibrational state. You're not changing, you're not getting it in your subconscious, so it's like, how consistent are you with it? And do you find that that's one of the biggest keys for you?
Absolutely. So here's the thing. Abundance has a certain frequency. abundance of anything, like anything that we want. This is, so let's say this is our abundant like the frequency of abundance. So we need to get our frequency to the same level so that we can be that vibrational match to abundance. So the way that we do that is through, so when we're saying, so we're raising our vibration, what does that mean? It means that we're feeling higher vibrational emotions on a more consistent basis. So higher vibrational emotions are things like gratitude, peace, happiness, joy, contentment, accomplishment. Like all of these emotions, the more consistently we can feel them, the more consistently we are that vibrational match to abundance, which means we become the magnet. So we don't have to try so hard to go out there and really put in all this effort and work and slog and do all these kind of things, because things start to come to us. Does it mean that we can sit on the couch and just wait for it to fall in our lap? No, because we do still need to create a momentum. We need to be in the right place at the right time, to have those conversations, to overhear someone talking on the table next to us, to whatever that is. We still need to create that momentum, but it becomes so much easier and an easier flow to us when we can consistently do that. So, in the beginning, having a gratitude habit may require some effort, but finding a way that you can incorporate this into your daily life. So it's not like that, oh, okay, now I'm going to take 5 minutes and sit down and feel grateful, because that's just compartmentalizing a higher vibration for a short period of time. How do you integrate that into everything that you do? How can you be more mindful? Like in the mornings, if I'm unpacking the dishwasher, I will be mindful about it. I'll take one plate at a time, and I'll be, I'll be in appreciation. I'll be in this place of calm and centeredness, rather than trying to do that and making the coffee and cooking the bacon and doing everything all at the same time. I'll try and do everything as mindful and as grateful as possible. And in those moments where, like on the weekend, I was with my girlfriend Zena, and I remember we're just about to get into her car to go down to the farmer's market, and I'm standing there, and in her front yard, I could see like a little hummingbird, and the way the sun was coming down, because it's like fall now, so it's like, everything seems to be more vibrant. And I'm just standing there, and I said to her, and I'm like, I have to acknowledge this moment of intense gratitude I'm in right now, and the appreciation of the beauty of what I'm looking at. So it's not just, yes, I'm grateful, but really sitting in the emotion of it and marinating in it for as long as you can, because this is how we consistently keep our vibration high. So, incorporating it in everything that we do, and looking for those moments where you can, sit in that. Like for me, my trigger in the morning is when I take Bella out for her wee walk. That's my trigger. I go into my gratitudes all the time, and then I have other things I know that I can do, that if I'm feeling a little, I actually have a list that's on the window behind my computer. If I'm, feeling stressed or whatever, I'm like, okay, I need to get my vibration back up. And I'll look at the list and go, yeah, I've got 5 minutes. I can fit that activity in. Or, you know what, I've got half an hour. I'm going to go pull the roof down on the car and go for a drive and play some music, or, but choose from that list so that I've got something that I know that I can instantly do that's going to get my vibration back up.
I love that. That is a great way to set yourself up for success. Just even having, so many of us have so many tools, right? But in the moment when we're in that like frustration place, or in contrast, and we kind of are getting caught with the conditions and circumstances of, I don't have enough money, or if this isn't working out, or this isn't flowing, or whatever, wherever our vibration is, to be able to go, okay, I've got that tool, and go, yeah, that takes a minute to do.
But even the list itself, like when I see the list, I'm like, it's a moment for me to check it and go, oh, how am I feeling right now? I'm feeling good, I'm fine, So it's also one of those things where it's like it's like a prompt for you to check in as well.
I love it. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Well, I know you have a free gift to give everybody. Do you want to share what that is? Because we're going to give it underneath the video. It's a 6 free pre-made mind movies. So
yes.
So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so these mind movies, so here's the cool thing about these pre-made mind movies. It means that you can instantly download them and start using them straight away. So, and with the mind movie, which is sets it aside from a vision board, not only is it dynamic and it's moving, but you can load it onto your phone or onto your tablet and carry it around with you. So, these mind movies are created around courage and confidence, vibrant health, self-love, attracting great social friends, finding inner peace, and wealth abundance.
Awesome.
So with these, you can, as soon as you start watching these, you then become a vibrational match to these things. And even though the mind movies are fairly general in a sense, when you start to watch them, you in your mind start to populate, well, what does abundant wealth mean to me? And then you start to see that. And it starts to open up possibilities, and you start to become the vibration of wealth. So, yeah, I love these mind movies. They're so easy to use. They're like 3 minutes. Who would have 3 minutes to quickly watch that and really raise their vibration?
And you know what I love about it too is that when you start, you have a visual, I think a lot of us need to have that kind of model of what's possible, because almost sometimes if we don't see it, we don't realize that it's a possibility or that exists. And so having that as a possibility and then seeing yourself start to manifest it's like, do you go into resistance? Like, oh my God, I don't deserve that. Oh my God, that's too much. Oh, how can I can't have that if they aren't having that. How can my life be so great if it's so horrible out there? Like anything that's coming up to become resistance, or that is resistance, to be able to release that and realize that as they come up, it's not real. It's just what has been programmed and holding the vibration down. And it's like, as soon as you let that go, your vibration raises even more, and your havingness, your allowing, space of allowing, and your alignment gets even more. And that's why you and I are on this crazy roller coaster ride of life. And it's like, because we're like, oh, that's resistance. Oh, that's and we're not attached to the beliefs anymore. It's like, oh, that doesn't feel good. Let go of that. Whereas before we might have been, a little bit more like, people learning this information are very grounded in their beliefs because they think that's what's real. And now we're like, oh, that just doesn't feel good. I'm going to let that go. So it just becomes like, now it just, things move and speed and the experiences that we get to have. And, for me, it's like the experiences about life, because you get the car, you get the money, you get the house, it's like, that's great. And then you get beyond it. It's like, well, what experiences can I create? Being in Paris and going to the Rolling Stones concert. I mean, like one of those things, like we're going to Paris. I hear that the Rolling Stones are playing in Europe. We happen to look and they're playing at the exact same time we're going to be in Paris. I mean, it's like stuff like that, the synchronicities and the flow of life. It just becomes like, of course, it's like, it's magical and majestic. And at the same time, it surprises you, but it doesn't, because it surprises you the wonder of like, wow, what's possible. And yet I created, I wanted that.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, for people who maybe still be like, law of attraction, it works sometimes, it doesn't. If you're doing the work, like if you're clear about what you want, you're not concerned about how it's going to show up. You're taking consistent action. You can see and feel what it's like to already be there. As these things start to show up, this is the evidence. This is the proof. This is what we need to be able to build our belief and expectation that what we put our mind to is actually going to, show up for us. So keep an evidence journal. Write down all these things that you did not do yourself. You didn't plan this yourself, but it showed up because the universe is providing what you need to get it done. And the more that you do that, the more that you're building this belief and expectation. If you can create your future events with belief and expectation, there is no shadow of a doubt that it's going to, materialize for you.
Absolutely. So thank you for being such a powerful teacher to show people that they really are that powerful, and that, all the beautiful things that the Creator gave us, it's like, let's use them to our advantage and create more of what we want and less of what we don't. And, just thank you for being such a great example of quantum success.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much.
I love you.
Thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought. Leave me a comment below, and be sure to share and tag your friends. If you like more information on the book, go ahead and click here or in the link in the description below. And be sure to check out my other videos here and on this site.